We all have a tendency, whether we like to admit it or not, to have a compliment or some sort of recognition from someone we either care about or even a stranger. The flatterer is that person who decides to give those compliments and give that recognition to get people to focus on oneself and lose their sight of where they are going and on their journey with Christ. Because as soon as we take our eyes off of Christ and focus on ourselves, it's easy for us to stray off the narrow path that we are supposed to be on.
There's an arm movement in this production that represents the flatterer, and it starts palms up in at the rib cage and then extends outward toward the character that they're interacting with, as if to really say, I'm here to serve you. And that's not to be confused with encouraging other pilgrims or lifting one another up in kindness and love, because that's all great. But really to say, I don't serve God, I serve you. You seem to have all the answers. You dismissed the atheists on the Enchanted Ground. I'm going to encourage you to put yourself ahead of the Lord. And separate from all of the other characters in this production, where the meaning behind their movements is very subtle and very nuanced, this is very blatant. And the reason for that is so that the audience really can't miss it. In the same way, when the characters are warning Christian and Hopeful about Flatterer, it's not subtle. It's a big old X with those arms. And we see it from knowledge, we see it from all three shepherds, and we see it from the Holy Spirit. Beware the flatterer. This is a trap, and it is such an easy trap to fall into because we love a good compliment. But what I really hope to show the audience with this scene, with the Enchanted Ground, is not only, are we falling into that? Are we putting ourselves above the Lord with our own wants and needs and our own flattery? But really, taking time to notice this isn't the beginning. We're not fresh out of the city of the destruction here. We are at the end of the show. We are at the end of the book. And it just shows that even the most devout Christians and the most dedicated pilgrims can still be led astray. And Christian and Hopeful should know better. They were told time and time again, beware the flatterer. And so I really hope the takeaway for each person in that audience is, the frustration of knowing that this is a trap, and that's why it is so blatant and not as nuanced, is so that when the flatterer introduces herself to Christian and Hopeful with that very same hand gesture, there's that feeling of, oh, come on, like that's her, she just said it, I am the flatterer, beware the flatterer. And really recognizing that that's how God must feel with us sometimes. Like, how many times have I told you this is not, a great character to link up with. This is not a great situation. This is not a great relationship. This is not a great environment. Whatever the case may be, that same frustration, but at the end, that same mercy and grace, because even though they've been on this path forever and they knew better and it was so blatant and so obvious and they still fell for it, it's just such a blessing to see that the Holy Spirit will always come through to lift that net and set us back on the right path.
کنند در گوش تو گویم که کجا